Now, Lowcountry Forever, a public affairs presentation of the Charleston Radio Group.
We missed one in 2020, but we're happy to have the fact that the air show and the Blue Angels are returning to the Lowcountry, and it's our subject today on Lowcountry Forever. I'm Brian Cleary. We're joined by the director of this year's show, Lieutenant Colonel Mark Jones joins us. Lieutenant Colonel, thanks so much for taking your time to be here.
Brian, thanks for having me.
Now, you've been at Joint Base Charleston personally yourself for how long now?
4 years.
And your military time, how many years?
I'm 20 plus, so retirement's actually just right around the corner for me.
So the big air show coming up is, in a way, your grand finale in your service to our country.
That's it. I'm really proud of it. I think it's going to be a great show.
Well, we are so looking forward to it. Let me first thank you for your service to our country, and thank you for bringing the air show back, our 2022 air show. Give us the who, what, where, when.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So it is April 9th and 10th. Both days, all day. So it's the same show. Gates open at 9 a.m. each day. The flying begins at noon, and it wraps up at 4:30 p.m.
And all the families that will be coming out to the show, they'll be able to access Joint Base Charleston how?
So there are two entrances, technically. There are two gates that you can enter through. Great question, though, because this is different than shows in years past. We do have limited parking. So the city has expanded and gotten really big, and the base hasn't gotten any bigger. We've had parking trouble in the past, and so what we've done this year is we are limiting attendance. The show is free, but you do have to reserve a parking pass. So if you go to jbcharleston.com/airexpo, it's one click right there. You can sign up for your base pass. You just need one per vehicle. As many people as you can fit in the car can come.
But we will set up links to that web address on all of our Charleston Radio Group stations. But really, that's the thing to stress. It's a free show. Mm-hmm. You don't need tickets, but you're not going to get in without the pass.
That's correct.
So everybody needs to download them. And again, one per vehicle is all you need.
That's right. Perfect.
Very good. So now everybody, air show, Blue Angels.
Yes.
We're excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So we have a whole bunch of performers. There are 25, and the list is growing, static aircraft to go see. You can get on some of them and walk through them, sit in the cockpits. We have a STEM hangar, so science, technology, engineering, math is on full display. We've invited the school children out to come see that as well. So that's there for the whole community, the whole family. A whole lot of neat exhibits in there. I think NASA has moon rocks. You can play with robotics. So you'll see how our jet engines work. Water Mission has a big display about the water crisis and how they're helping solve it, and many, many more exhibitors. So I mentioned the static aircraft. There's a kid zone for bouncy house if the kids get a little bored.
Nice.
And then, of course, our performers. So that's highlighted by the U.S. Navy Blue Angels, and they are the premier demo team in the world. It does not get better than the Blue Angels. And then, of course, we have our own C-17. It'll fly formation with a C-47, which is a World War II era airlift aircraft. That's going to be neat. They haven't done that in 4 or 5 years now, so that's the first time you'll see that in a long time. Some World War II era aerobatics planes, a German fighter that'll mock dogfight with a P-51. There's pyrotechnics involved in that, so we got bombers and explosions.
Nice.
It all culminates then again with the F-16 Viper demo team comes through. The F-16's thrilling, and with it we have the 1,000-foot wall of fire, and there's many other flyers as well. It's going to be a great show.
And I don't mean to downgrade it in any way, but it's not just airplanes flying by real fast. Mm-hmm. There's some spectacular elements that you guys have added in for this year's show.
Oh, it's a huge mix. So I think the C-17 demo on its own is a really neat thing. But yes, all those other displays, the STEM hangar, the concessions, all the great food, and the kids' activities as well. It makes it a great event for the whole day.
Let me focus in on that, because you're a C-17 pilot.
Sure.
Everybody in the Lowcountry has driven up Rivers Avenue. You're on 52626. You see these huge monster airplanes that are coming in for landing. Obviously, you don't get the admiration as much, say, as a Blue Angel pilot, but it's important what you do. And I had mentioned to you a little bit ago, my wife always looks up and says, how can something that big fly? Explain that to me. You're behind the wheel there. How does that happen?
It's the magic pixie dust. We have to keep it in supply. Yeah, I agree. I still look at the planes and think the same thing. Looks like they're floating up there. Well, we'll show you how it works when you come on out to the show. I'll tell you that much.
As you watch on TV or you see in a movie or something, you guys put a lot of stuff in the cargo area of those planes. I mean, I can't imagine how much weight it is. So that's got to be a huge area back there for people to see.
Yeah, so we'll focus on that kind of education, actually. The whole point is to say thank you to the people of Charleston. Thank you so much for being amazing hosts. We love living here. This is by far my favorite assignment and location to live. So when you come to the show, go visit the C-17 Static. Inside, we highlight all of our past operations. So things from the Berlin airlift to the evacuation of refugees from Saigon in the 70s to our most recent evacuation that we accomplished in Afghanistan. So you'll see a lot of displays that explain how all that works. And then we'll also just talk to you about the C-17, how it works. You can walk right through the cargo area, ask questions of the loadmasters and the pilots. They'll be there to teach you and show you. We just want to say thank you to the city.
So we're going to get a huge crowd out for the air show. Folks are going to be there a long time, all day long. A mom or a dad might be just wondering and worrying a little bit about bathroom facilities.
I won't get into too much of the specifics, but I will tell you this. I've spent more than my fair share of time researching how many bathrooms it takes to host an event like this. And I've got it covered. There are a lot. And they are everywhere, and we got you covered.
We can all feel confident then for the air show coming up April 9th and 10th over at Joint Base Charleston. We're speaking with the director of the show. Lieutenant Colonel Mark Jones is with us. Now, Lieutenant Colonel, obviously not all of us get exposure to Joint Base Charleston.
Right.
Can't just walk on and walk around and see what's going on. So how do you explain to somebody who comes to the area what actually is going on the base?
We do get a lot of questions. It's a high visibility thing, and people don't usually get to see it. I'll tell them about my day-to-day job and what it's like flying mobility aircraft. We try to focus on bringing hope to the world, frankly.
Sure.
That's the mission. It's part of our mission statement, actually. And so that's what happens at the base. Everyone works together to put those planes in the air. It's not much unlike any other business that maybe you'd be a part of, and as far as day-to-day work. But at the end of the day, we all rally around the mission and hopefully project hope to the world.
So we want to get as many people to come out to the air show as possible to enjoy the planes. But let me focus in on the STEM part of it, because I know that's a big push for Joint Base Charleston. Obviously, you yourself, being a pilot, STEM is important to you. There's a lot of talk about how maybe girls aren't so much going into STEM, and maybe we should. So these will be things that I'm sure will be addressed, and it'll just be open for kids to come by and explore.
It is, definitely. So that's a great question, and it's a huge focus of our wing commander. Our base leadership insists that this STEM hangar is as robust and significant as it possibly can be. We think it's very important. And that's a huge part of our community outreach and partnership with the community. So we've specifically invited the local county schools to actually participate on field trips on a separate event to come out and see the STEM hangar itself. And so we have well over 1,000 school-age children coming out to see it on a separate day. That's absolutely a priority.
And so for people like me who look back and struggled with ninth grade algebra and math wasn't my strong point.
Right.
I can look to you as someone and go, well, there are people, because I would always think, I'm never going to use this. I'm a disc jockey. There is a sense and a reason why that is taught. And those are skills that can be used.
100%. That's exactly right. Hey, you're looking at a history major right now. And then I went into the flying business. Okay. So it's out there for everyone. If I can understand it, anyone can. There's certainly no limitation there. And the focus on STEM helps.
So I'm intrigued. You went from a history major. How did that eventually transform you into a C-17 pilot? So,
I went to college not knowing what I was going to do. And then Dad had been a C-141 pilot, so 22 years in the Air Force flying C-141s. And so I was familiar with it. I went to school to study business and just didn't like it. So I got out. I got into something I loved, which is history. I got good grades and made my way through the ROTC program into the Air Force. I actually loved it. I got to study what I want, and now I get to fly what I want.
And you went to college at?
The University of Kentucky.
So there are times when the Wildcats are playing the Gamecocks. You probably get a little grief on the base.
All the time. It's nothing but grief. I'm miserable this year, but we're doing okay.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad you're working.
Thanks for asking.
No, absolutely. So when folks come out and see a C-17 and all the stuff that you'll see on display, what is it you think that's most intriguing or maybe most surprises people when they're able to actually view up close and personal a C-17 aircraft?
They're so capable. They do multifaceted mission set. And so people don't necessarily know that. You think of it as hauling pallets.
Sure.
Or maybe hauling a tank, which is true. They absolutely can do that. But you'll see on display, I'll stick with our C-17 specifically, you'll see how short it can land and how short it can take off. You'll learn about its rugged runway capabilities. It can land on dirt, austere, it can climb quickly, it can descend quickly, turn sharply. You'd be shocked at what the airplane is capable of.
You think that's just like a big old, it's like an 18-wheel truck, and it takes a lot of space and room. But I have to think a C-17 doesn't always land on the luxury long-range airports. You're being forced into some challenging situations.
Sure, it's designed for rough territory.
You yourself have landed those C-17s. Can you share some places where you may have been?
Sure, all around the world. Certainly Afghanistan and Iraq. That's been the focus you can imagine, the past 20 years of my career.
Sure, right.
But the Pacific, North and South America, the entire globe. I've only not been to Antarctica, but the plane does fly there too.
Wow.
It does land on the ice.
That's just unbelievable. Lieutenant Colonel Mark Jones is our guest today. He's the director of the Air Show, the 2020 Air Show, coming up at Joint Base Charleston on April 9th and April 10th. So there'll be other pilots, other experts, other people like that when I come out to the show, I'll be able to talk with them as well.
Absolutely. So each of the static aircraft, there are fighters, trainers, recruiting assets that are there. All the heavy aircraft, like the one I fly, they're all manned each day with the pilots who flew them in, and the loadmasters and other crew members who work on them. So if you want to know about a B-52, this is the show to come to. You can talk to the bombardier, you can talk to the navigator, the pilot, everyone who works the plane. They're there to talk. They're specifically there to let you know all about their plane, anything you can imagine.
And as someone who spent 20 years in our military serving our nation, for somebody who may be graduating high school, what would you say to them if they're thinking about the military for a career?
It's a great time to get in. We need good people. Always.
Okay.
So recruiting and retention, frankly, that's a part of what air shows are about as well, to show people that it's an option. You can do it. It does not matter where you come from, what your upbringing was like. Yeah, you can make an amazing career happen. I have absolutely loved this career. It's been wonderful.
And for people who go and look, Joint Base Charleston, Top Gun, Tom Cruise. Oh, yeah, that must be all those experiences you had, right?
It's not quite, but I could tell some stories that would raise the hair a little bit. It's been a really wild ride.
Well, you've got a short time to go. We don't want to blow it for you at this point. So what we most want to do is, again, free show, but run through again, because the parking is going to really be the thing that people have to be aware of.
Yes. So the show is the same show each day, April 9th and April 10th. That's Saturday and Sunday. The gates open at 9 a.m. You can come on at that time and park in our huge parking lots that we've set aside for everyone. Then you can walk amongst the statics, see the stem hangar, get some food. The flying begins at noon, and it wraps up at 4:30. And then the parking is big. We have limited attendance, so it is a free show, open to the public. No other vetting of any kind. You just have to have a parking pass, and we have to limit that in order to make sure that we can accommodate everyone for the show who wants to come. And so you go to jbcharleston.com/airexpo. You'll see the link. The button to click is right there front and center. You click on that, sign up for your pass. One pass per vehicle is all you need. You can put 20 people in the car. It doesn't matter.
So carpooling is encouraged.
Very much. Yes.
We want to get as many people as we can out to the shows both days. And Lieutenant Colonel, it's the same show both days, but can I attend both days?
Well, we actually are even limiting that. So it's one day or the other to try to give everyone a chance to go. So if you sign up, you put in your email address, it'll block you from getting a second ticket. So we're really trying to spread the wealth there and let everyone have a chance. There's a whole lot who want to come. So we want to make sure we accommodate as many as possible.
Sure, and it's a free show, so hopefully everybody's going to take advantage of it. Again, it was here in 2018. We missed it in 2020 due to COVID. We're so happy to have it back in 2022. Now, as the director of the show, will we see you near the C-17s, or are you just running around crazy and who knows?
I'll be where I'm needed, but primarily I will be on the Air Boss stand. So if you go to the show center, there's an elevated stand there that the Air Boss directs all the traffic on and makes the show happen. That's a civilian contractor we hired to do it. But I'll be right next to him and in his ear and helping him along the day. So you'll see me in uniform up there.
Very good. Me. Looking forward to it. One more time, though, because I want to stress the website where people can go for parking.
Perfect. It's www.jbcharleston.com/airexpo. Or you can just Google Charleston Airshow. You'll find it that way.
And after 20 years in the service, you'll run a fantastic air show.
Right.
Everyone will applaud because you did such a great job, and then you will...
I love the optimism.
Absolutely.
I am retiring in just a few months, and then the family and I are going to take some time. We're going to travel around the country, learn about American history, do some homeschooling, and then we'll roll into something new, a new career another time.
Good luck with all that. It all comes back to history.
There it is.
Nice.
It does. I love it.
Lieutenant Colonel Mark Jones, the director of the air show. That'll be next weekend, Saturday, April 9th, Sunday, April 10th at Joint Base Charleston. Our guest today on Lowcountry Forever.
Enjoy a boat parade, live music, crafts, and activities, and plenty of shrimp. It's the town of Mount Pleasant's annual Blessing of the Fleet and Seafood Festival at Mount Pleasant's Memorial Waterfront Park, Sunday, April 24th. Learn more about this free family event at experiencemountpleasant.com.
I was in the hospital with my son for 18 months.
When he got injured, I knew I had to be strong.
I just remember rushing into his room and giving him a big hug and letting him know I was there.
These veterans and families are just a few of the heroes we serve at Homes for Our Troops. We build specially adapted custom homes with features like wheelchair access and automatic door openers that allow them to focus on their recovery and family.
This house is freedom. It's hope. It's a new beginning.
Visit hfotusa.org.
Run or walk and get colorful as you take part in the annual Give Me Shelter Color 5K to benefit the Carolina Youth Development Center. The run is about 3 miles through the town of Moncks Corner, where runners will be showered with color along the way. Sign up as a team or an individual to participate in the family-friendly race. Registration for the May 7th event has begun, and if you can't make the race, help us reach our goal of $80,000 and donate online at cydc.org.
The Charleston Radio Group is the Lowcountry. Every week, we highlight local organizations and events that are helping to make a difference here where we live. If you have a group, event, or an idea to feature on Lowcountry Forever, let us know. Visit lowcountryforever.com and click on our podcast link for contact information. Now, Lowcountry Forever continues.
Little bit of Louisiana is coming to the Lowcountry, and in this instance, that's a very, very good thing as we get ready for the return of the Lowcountry Cajun Festival, our subject today on Lowcountry Forever. I'm Brian Cleary, and joining us today, the Public Information Director for the Charleston County Parks Department. We say hello to Sarah Reynolds. Sarah, everybody's got to be excited. Been a little while since you've been able to, because of the pandemic, host the Lowcountry Cajun Festival. We've got one coming up next weekend.
Absolutely. We are so excited to bring the Lowcountry Cajun Festival back. It's really a staple event here in the Lowcountry, and I think people have really missed it the last 2 years since we haven't been able to host it.
So here's the tough question for you, just you personally. Is it the food or the entertainment? Which is better? That's a toss-up for everybody. Which way do you lean?
That is really difficult. I might go with the entertainment. I feel like it's such a different, like you don't hear Zydeco music very, very frequently out in the public. So I feel like it's really close. The food is amazing. But going out and hearing all these amazing artists performing Zydeco music and Creole, and it's just so cool to hear. Like, it's so unique. I feel like you don't hear it very often.
So people who are hearing this are going, wait, Lowcountry Cajun Festival is always Bridge Run weekend, but this year you've kind of moved it away, which I think will be a great thing just to isolate the fact that, hey, you don't have to be worn down from Flowertown and the Bridge Run. You can just come out to the Lowcountry Cajun Festival, and we will be at James Island County Park once again, correct?
That's correct. It's at James Island County Park. And yes, we have moved away from the Bridge Run weekend. We're just trying something new, trying it out on a Saturday this year. Yeah, maybe just trying to get some different people than in years past. We felt like we were kind of competing with a lot of other events as well.
And this is by itself can be a huge standalone event. It will be Saturday, April 19th. We're talking from noon to 6 p.m. So let me focus first on the food. Really, a taste of Louisiana comes to the Lowcountry. When I come out to the Cajun Fest, what will I be experiencing?
So the Cajun and Creole foods, you're going to have those traditional dishes that you can expect in places like New Orleans, Louisiana, like jambalaya, etouffee, which is one of my favorites, andouille sausage. We have one vendor who usually does alligator. And then, of course, crawfish, which is really the big draw for a lot of people at the Cajun festivals. They come there and they get their boiled crawfish, and it's just really good.
Food, that I have to say, it's what I look forward to each year, and having that little taste of alligator, but crawfish, all that Louisiana taste, the taste buds, just got to love it. Now, I want to come to the event, but maybe the person I'm bringing along, maybe not a Louisiana fan per se. Other food will be available?
Absolutely. We do have some, more South Carolina Lowcountry type options like seafood and Southern barbecue. And then we'll have some kind of traditional festival foods like turkey legs, ice cream, French fries, things like that. So we'll definitely have a variety of vendors out there in addition to the Cajun and Creole foods. So yeah, if maybe you're looking for a little bit tamer, if you have a little tamer palate, or you're not too sure about trying out crawfish, because it can be pretty intimidating the first time you eat it, we'll definitely have some other options.
Well, a turkey leg will go with Zydeco music as well, so we can go either way. We're talking to Sarah Reynolds today on Lowcountry Forever. I'm Brian Cleary, and Sarah is the Public Information Director for the Charleston County Parks and Recreation Department. Of course, Charleston County Parks putting on the Lowcountry Cajun Festival, which will be coming up on Saturday, April 9th. That'll be this weekend. Let's talk a little bit about the entertainment, and you're so right in saying it, that Zydeco music, it's so unique, it's so cool to both listen to and see performed. We don't hear it a lot, so what's our lineup in terms of the music and entertainment that we'll be getting as part of this year's Lowcountry Cajun Festival?
And this year we will have Shrimp City Slim and his Swamp All-Stars will be kicking it off at 1 p.m. A lot of people are familiar with him. He's a local blues pianist, but he'll be doing a little bit more of a Zydeco Cajun feel with his music this year. And then at 2:30, we will have Johnny Ace and Sidewalk Zydeco. They've been to the Cajun Festival before. They've performed for us before. They are amazing. Johnny Ace is originally from New York, and his group is kind of a transplant group. Some people from the Low Countries, some people from other places. And one of his musicians, she goes by Mary from Tokyo, and she does the washboard, scrubbing the washboard. So
Right.
she's really talented and really good. So that's really cool to see as well. And then our headliner this year starts at 4:30, CJ Shanae. And he is the son of Grammy winner Clifton Shanae, who's known as the King of Zydeco. So this guy is kind of like Zydeco royalty in a sense. He's been performing alongside a lot of different Zydeco bands for years and years. He was even featured on an album by Paul Simon. So he's a really talented guy. We're really excited to have him and just to watch him perform. And I heard he brings like a really positive spirit to his music.
As he should, and the washboard thing, that is so cool to watch. I can't wait to see that. Now, this year, we're going to have a main stage, and I'm told that there'll be a secondary, smaller stage?
Yeah, there's going to be a smaller stage we're going to have like a performance for kids at 1 o'clock. It's called Who Calls the Swamp Home? So that's really like kind of like an educational performance on that stage. So we're not going to have music on that stage, but it's just something else to watch and something else to be entertained by. And on that same stage is also where we're going to have the crawfish eating contest at 2:30.
Which is always very unique. Like you said before, crawfish can be, not sure if you use the word intense, but it was something like that. That should be a challenge for folks and interesting to watch. And for the people who are thinking about coming out, this is definitely a kid-friendly event. You'll have more than just that for the kids.
Absolutely. We're also going to have a group of inflatables set up. So for kids, they can purchase like a hand stamp for $10 and be able to play on the inflatables, as well as our climbing wall all day long. And kids 12 and under are actually free of charge into the event. So you can bring them and they can, just run around and enjoy the music and all that. And it's actually a pretty affordable family event.
That's cool. Kids 12 and under are free. Now, how much would tickets be for me and other adults?
For adults, it's $15 per person. And if you have the Charleston County Parks Gold Pass, you'll get in for free. You'll just have to purchase it prior to that day.
Let me take a second here to just, people don't understand, I think, the value of the Gold Pass. But here we go again, another event that is free. Talk a little bit about, Sarah, if you wouldn't mind, the Gold Pass and the benefits that someone can get just by purchasing a Gold Pass.
Oh, the Charleston County Parks Gold Pass is really, I encourage everyone to get it. If you ever go to any of our parks or any of our events, if you are a regular at the beaches, it gets you into Isle of Palms County Park, Folly Beach County Park, and Beach Walker on Kiowa, which I feel like kind of pays for itself alone. And then you get into, like you said, Lowcountry Cajun Festival. You get a pass into the Holiday Festival of Lights at James Island County Park each year. And you get admission into 15 county parks in general. So James Island County Park, Wanamaker, North Charleston, a number of other parks throughout the county. It's really a great deal. And it's your entire vehicle you get in as well.
It's the best deal that you'll find in Charleston County. I really think so, the Gold Pass. Now, if someone listening is encouraged by what we're telling them about the Gold Pass and they'd like to purchase one, how can they do that?
Go to charlestoncountyparks.com and purchase one there, and they will mail you like the actual pass. I believe I was trying to look up the prices real quick. It's between like $70 and $80, depending on whether you are a Charleston County resident. It's a pretty good deal. Yes.
And that Gold Pass is good for 1 year.
Yes, it's good for 1 year, and it covers your vehicle of up to 15 people. So as many people as you can squeeze in.
Bring them on in. Now, if somebody wants to get tickets for the Cajun Fest, you said those are $15 per person. How and when can I get my tickets?
We're just doing at the gate this year. So you can just pay at the gate as you show up, and you don't have to buy anything in advance. So pretty pretty easy to just kind of show up and pay right there.
It's Lowcountry Forever. I'm Brian Cleary talking with Sarah Reynolds. Sarah is with the Charleston County Parks Department. She is the Public Information Director, and we're talking about the Lowcountry Cajun Festival. Sarah, talk a little bit about, so people understand, you guys put on events, festivals, the Cajun Fest, things like that, as a way of just giving back, I'm assuming. How would you describe it in terms of the programs you do and why the Charleston County Parks and Recreation Department puts these things on?
Really, the Lowcountry Cajun Festival has been going on for over 30 years. So how it got its start was at the beginning of when we opened James Island County Park. It was another way to kind of just get people to come out and experience the park out there before it was as popular as it is today. So that's kind of how the Cajun Festival got its start. And we found that there was a niche in the Cajun, Creole, Louisiana world that wasn't being filled by other events or many restaurants at the time in Charleston. So it was just something that our events team kind of put together. So events like this, we try to find ways to get people to come out and experience the parks, have a good time, enjoy music, enjoy food, enjoy beverages, and get to explore the county park as well. The event takes place within a small portion of James Island County Park within the meadow, but we enjoyed getting people to just come into James Island County Park and see everything that's there and just get to enjoy the beauty. So that's really why we do these events. A lot of them were initially just to get people out to the parks and see everything that we have to offer at them. And
we've got a lot of room out at James Island County Park. Parking's not going to be an issue. The event will start at noon, the Lowcountry Cajun Fest. What time will the gates open?
I think they're going to open gates a little before noon this year. They usually do around like 11:30. So you can get there a little bit early if you want. And then they'll get you in the park, and you can bring blankets and chairs and get set up a little bit early near the stage so you can get a good spot. So definitely try to get there a little bit early if you can to try to beat the crowds.
And even though Gamecock and Clemson Tiger fans hate Louisiana and that hate LSU Tigers, we can still love the music down there and love the food, and we should still invite all the Gamecock and Tiger fans to come out for the Cajun Festival, right?
Of course, it's so much fun, and I think most people just enjoy getting to get out and enjoy the music and the food. And like we mentioned before, it's so different for the Lowcountry to listen to Zydeco music and eat crawfish, and there's not many places where you can do that here.
And we haven't had a Cajun Festival in a couple of years thanks to the, I hate to say the P word, but the pandemic. It came up. In terms of this year's event, anything we should be knowing or have to do because of COVID-19?
We haven't really, fortunately, had to make too many changes this year to COVID-19. I think our crawfish eating contest might be a little bit scaled down from where it was previously because of that. Something else that we're not necessarily doing this year because of the pandemic, but it was just something we've been talking about doing, but I think it kind of works with the pandemic, is we're no longer doing a ticketing system for our food vendors. So if you'd gone to the event in the past, you had to buy tickets and then you'd exchange them for the food. Now you just go up to the vendors and you just give them cash or credit and go from there. So we're taking out that middleman of actually buying tickets. So that's a great new thing we're doing this year as well.
And it's all great news as we get back to quote unquote normal. And it's a huge outdoor event, obviously. So COVID less a concern. It's just going to be a fun time to have by all. The Lowcountry Cajun Fest coming up on Saturday, April 9th at James Island County Park. Now, Sarah, if somebody's looking for information about the Cajun Festival, where should they go?
You can just go to charlestoncountyparks.com. You can click on festivals and events, and that'll take you to the Lowcountry Cajun Festival, and all the details will be there.
And are there any sponsors that are part of the Cajun Fest that we want to mention?
Our presenting sponsor this year is Coca-Cola, so they'll be doing a lot of the bottled drinks out there, and of course, Charleston County Parks.
Anything else that folks need to know in terms of the Lowcountry Cajun Fest, what they should or should not bring?
I did want to mention pets are not permitted to this event, unfortunately. A lot of our events are pet friendly, but just not this one. So please don't bring your pets to the event.
Leave Fido at home, but bring the rest of your family. You will not want to miss this event. Saturday, April 9th, James Island County Park. It's been gone for a little while. Thank you, pandemic. But it's back. Not in the normal weekend, not on Bridge Run weekend, but next Saturday, April 9th, the Lowcountry Cajun Festival at James Island County Park. Sarah Reynolds is the Public Information Officer with the Charleston County Department of Parks and Recreation, our guest today on Lowcountry Forever.
See dynamic aerial displays, memorial planes, and the world-renowned Blue Angels for the 2022 Air Show. Saturday and Sunday, April 9th and 10th. Get your required free parking pass at jbcharleston.com/airexpo. Regardless of whether you run or walk, join us on Saturday, April 23rd to honor the legacy of an American hero, Pat Tillman. The Pat Tillman Honor Run starts and ends at Credit One Stadium on Daniel Island. To register, visit runsignup.com, keyword Tillman Run.
Thanks for listening to Lowcountry Forever. If you missed any of this week's show, there's a complete recording under the podcast link at lowcountryforever.com. Lowcountry Forever is a public affairs presentation of the Charleston Radio Group.
Enjoy a boat parade, live music, crafts and activities, and plenty of shrimp. It's the town of Mount Pleasant's annual Blessing of the Fleet and Seafood Festival at Mount Pleasant's Memorial Waterfront Park, Sunday, April 24th. Learn more about this free family event at experiencemountpleasant.com.
Blood clots can happen to anyone. Up to 900,000 people in the United States are affected by blood clots each year, and 100,000 die from them. Blood clots don't discriminate. You or a loved one could be at risk right now. The good news is blood clots can be prevented. Knowing the risks and symptoms are key. On average, one person in the United States dies of a blood clot every 6 minutes. Don't let that be you or someone you know. Learn more at stoptheclot.org/spread the word.